podcast where we have comfortable and uncomfortable conversations. I am your host, Juice, aka No Ordinary Brother.
All right, what's good, world? Welcome back to your favorite show. I go by the name of King Exodus. As always, we appreciate your time. Thank you for tapping in. Make sure you share the live. Make sure you share the video, and also subscribe to that YouTube channel. All righty. I'll let you introduce the first segment. What we doing?
All right, guys. First current event that's going on right now. We got Vladimir Putin and forgiving all the debt that happened within Africa. I'm looking at it on the basis like, listen, the more you strengthen your alliance when it comes to that group or organization of BRICS, and you wipe away debt with people you form an alliance with, I'm looking at, okay, he's playing the long run. Not to mention, we know Africa to be one of the most resourceful continents out there in the world. So, hey, if you form an alliance with them, wipe their debt free, let's see if we can move forward and make some things happen. Putin been doing some things. I don't know if anybody been paying attention to what he's been doing over the last couple of days and the last couple of weeks, but he's gonna. This is my opinion. My opinion. I believe BRICS is going to be pretty strong within the future, especially with everything they got going on and making sure everybody is in unison. What's your thoughts over there right now, brother?
The play that China and Russia is implementing, even within BRICS and outside of BRICS, is pretty much recolonizing Africa in a way that they're actually doing it in like a way that they're doing business, to where it's not like outright colonialism and dominating them, what have you. And it's giving Africa a chance, like, to pretty much gain their independence from the American chokehold that's been on their neck for so many years. So it's like you have people that normally wouldn't be allies coming together because of a common enemy. So it's very strategic. I don't think Putin is doing this because he's found a new source of Christ or God or anything like that. And this is all business at this point. It's business and warfare. You know what I mean? So he's connecting. Everybody's going to utilize the biggest resource, right, which would be Africa. Whoever can kind of control Africa or do business with Africa can most definitely move up within the rankings of being a power structure within the world. So only this time Africa is eating. Right? You know what I mean? So.
Oh, okay. Oh, this time, like, sure. I was reading people, African comments, and they were just like, okay, well, we can get behind this. And then you have some people that's looking at it like, well, you still have the French that own a couple of countries out there within Africa. Of course, they're going to do that to try to fight back. But I was like, listen, this is business at the end of the day. And I had that comment where I said one of my mentors told me, move like a country. Understand you're going to form alliances with people you do business for with X amount of time, X amount of years. And then when there's no more need to do business with them, just walk away from it. All right. What about you, man? What you got anything on your side?
Yeah. China invested reportedly $17 million into the schooling system within America. And it's not really just, once again, not because they just really want to do a good deed and bless America and bless the children here, right? They're also implementing a sense of Chinese culture, right, behind that $17 million. So kids will be able to learn about Chinese culture as well. So once again, going back to war tactics, China is heavily invested into the bonds within America. They own a lot of bonds in America. And they also own a lot of real estate in America. Correct. So, and they also are responsible for a lot of the import, right, products that are being shipped to America. So if you just do all the math and you play chess and you understand strategic warfare, by the time America wakes up and sees China as an enemy, they will already be too heavily invested within America to where they won't have to really take it to any type of violence. So very, very smart play on China's behalf. But it also says how fucked up is the schooling system here to where we need other countries to actually aid us money or even invest into our schooling system. So we're like one of the dumbest nations, statistically speaking, right? Because we teach our kids in the schooling system not how to think, but what to think. And all the schooling system does is prepares them to be workers, not actually successful adults within society. And we adopted that custom from German nations, other countries, right? So that was the whole reason that they implemented the school system the way they did. The school people that was implementing these tactics within grades, what K through 12 now, the plan was for you to graduate, get a degree, what have you. If not, you're going to be a worker. And then I think the 16th Amendment is when you have the America's ability to be able to create what we call the income tax, the tax. So everything is set up to where everybody's going to eat off you being an employee. That's not going to probably ever understand financial literacy, entrepreneurship, anything that's going to help you survive. So that's my take on that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember they blackballed Think and Grow Rich when it first came out. They want nobody to think a different way.
Yes, sir.
Or what's one? Outwitting the Devil. All right, all right, man. Did you want to open up with the topic today, or you wanted me to do that?
One more quick segment. We have Jaylen Brown, Boston Celtic player, just recently signed a 5-year extension contract for over $304 million, which would make him the highest paid NBA player in history. So they interview, bro, what are you going to do with all this money? Well, I want to resurrect Black Wall Street, bring it to Boston, right? I want to help bridge the wealth gap for the inner cities, starting here in Boston, and then we can spread it around the nation. So when Umar had this debate with the wrap-up crew, and he was talking about black men not taking action, these are the things I think people overlook. So you have a successful black man who can easily take his $300 million and do whatever the fuck he wants to do with it. But, however, he's thinking on a level of race. He's thinking on a level of what can I do to help out my group, right? Because I see they're disenfranchised, they're lacking within resources. So he's talking about helping educate kids and what have you. So these are the type of mentalities that we would like to see more black men exhibit, right? Once they come into these huge lump sums of money. I'm not saying everybody got to be outright and talk that shit like that, because you do need some people to actually do it without letting everybody know what they're doing. But this is very, very motivational and inspirational, because it's just sad to say we don't see these types of things happening too often. To where even a black man, it kind of shows any type of consideration for black people, right? We get caught up in our own family, our own legacy, and we think that we're comfortable within this nation. So we forget, your race is the last place. So shouts out to that brother. And like I say, once again, I think this is what Umar was talking about when he had that debate on the wrap-up crew interview. So what you got on Jaylen Brown?
Man, Jaylen Brown do the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. And he wasn't scared to cast out your vision for what you plan on doing with your money. I felt like that was powerful, man. I would like to see everybody unite behind this man at the same time. That's another thing is you hear somebody doing something and know it's going to take a collective or community. Get behind that person, rally behind them, be ready to sort of like. Not gonna lie, I better see Dr. Umar what they do. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I better see Dr. Umar what they do. He better reach out to Jaylen Brown, but. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I hope Omar not going to be too much on his high horse, but like, he need to reach out to me, so we can talk about how to do it. No, bro, just reach out to the man.
I'm Big Papa Pan-African
yeah.
movement.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All righty. So tonight's topic, main segment, having something to live for, right? So me and Juice was having conversations like we normally do. And we're just talking about living, right, in a positive trajectory, you know what I'm saying, conquering your goals and what have you. And we just came to the conclusion that a lot of people really just don't have anything to live for. And if they do have things to live for, how positive are these things, right? So you most definitely want to live for positive things within your life. And you want to see people put a value on their lives. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we don't have a lot of respect within the modern world is because people most likely don't respect themselves. So it's hard for people to love people, respect people, have successful networking skills or anything if they don't value themselves. So you definitely have to have something to live for in order to reach your optimal level of success. So let's have a conversation. Juice, I'll let you give your opening.
Oh, man, the opening is just plain and simple. Like he said, was having a conversation. I was telling X about a situation I went through the other day, a previous day. And I was just like, listen, I realized if I never learn how to mature, never learn how to adjust to disrespect, never learn how to let things go, things could have went left for me a lot of times in my life, especially a situation and the person I ran into in the previous day. But when it comes to maturity and growth, I was like, yo, I got too much stuff to live for. I got things that are coming my way. I got doors opening up, opportunities left and right. Men are reaching down to pull me up. So what do I look like acting out of emotions and putting myself in a situation or jeopardizing the doors that are opening up? And when this also can go back to dating. You know, when you ever hear that term, only date people who got shit to lose, that's when you have something to live for. You got if you got shit to lose when you have something to live for. If you don't have something to live for, you really don't care for what happens. These are why people can constantly get fired from jobs, terminated, because they're always acting in emotion. They're looking at it, listen, I'll just go get another job. Fuck it. Instead of looking at it like, okay, listen, I'm here right now. What can I do while I'm here? Can I plan my exit strategy, or do I plan on moving forward or upwards within this company? So like I said, that's just something we got to talk about when it comes to something little fun, man. It's just having the idea in mind that you want to execute. This comes down to any type of vision that you're looking to bring forth. Yeah.
Right. First thing I'll open up with is death, right? Every day you want to prepare for your death, how you exit stage left, right? You want to live right and die right. I say it a lot. So this means not only do you want to become as successful as possible, right? But you also want to have things set up to when you leave. What are you passing down? I ain't saying you got to pass down $1 million, but do you have health insurance? Do you have life insurance? Do you have policies? Do you have anything, right, in paper and assets that can be passed down to someone else? So a lot of times when we look at the most wealthiest people in the world, everything they do is based on like minimum of 20 years outward. So if you're living day to day and you're thinking about how I'm gonna get to next month, you're most likely not going to be able to live within 5 years in advance, 10 years in advance, even a year or two, because you're paycheck to paycheck, right? Everything is a hustle. Everything is how fast can I do this? Because you're not even seeing yourself possibly living to hit all your goal marks, right? So you also want to have like a life expectancy for yourself. You always want to see yourself actually getting old. That should be like a flex, especially for the Black community. So here we are 30, we like, damn, we old. That's bad. You know what I'm saying? When you in your 20s, you know what I'm saying, and you still like, damn, okay, I'm getting 30. That's shit gonna slow down. That's bad.
Yeah.
You should always live within your youth for as long as possible, not within the immature state, but in optimal health. Right? In your 30s, you should be just as healthy, if not healthier, than what you were when you were younger. Right? The clock shouldn't just start slowing down like that. Right? So you want to live life in abundance, enjoy life on a day-to-day basis, and plan ahead. Right? So I think the reason why a lot of people are so miserable is because they know for a fact they don't know if they're going to live or die for the next 5 or 10 years. And I'm not talking about health issues, financial issues. Sometimes people just don't see themselves actually living out throughout the test of time. So you want to be able to plan ahead for sure and have things to pass down, even something simple as knowledge and information. So we shouldn't be out here having kids. We shouldn't be out here being the older people within our family, and we're not even learning things on a day-to-day basis to be able to teach the youth. So everything we do have to be prepared for our death, right? You want to have a beautiful death, so to speak. And you don't want to die with no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have people just as simple as somebody could die from gang violence, somebody could die from having road rage, somebody could die from eating the wrong foods, drinking too much alcohol, taking too many drugs. Like, you don't want to go out like that. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was younger, a family member told me the reason I went to the military is because I'd rather die at war and have my kids know I died being a soldier versus I got took out by a crackhead. So I'm not saying go join the military or nothing like that, but you want to prepare for your death. And lastly on that, the legacy that you leave behind on the simplest format is just the memories that people have of you. Were you a negative asshole? Were you somebody that people didn't want to fuck with? Were you somebody that fucked people over in business? Were you somebody that never had anything positive to contribute to a conversation? Like, these are the memories and the impact that you're going to leave on the world. So who cares if you never become iconic or famous and the whole world knows your name? What did the people that know you the most say about you? So you always want to prepare for your death. So you got it.
Man, listen, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't prepared for death. I'm preparing to live right now, y'all. But anyway, just to kind of throw that out there for you know, I gotta make y'all smile, man. I gotta be entertainment for y'all too. But anyway, one thing he kept saying that really popped in my head. The other day, I did a thing called the breakdown of the 10-year theory. Right? We always know the 5-year theory. You know, what do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Every 10 years, technically, you exit it to the next age. Right? 10, 20, 30, 40, and the 10-year theory is based upon the last 10 years of how you grew up, how your life will be within the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And as I sat there and observed a lot of people around me when I started taking that to a different place in my mind and started becoming more, how can you say, more concrete and more conscious, I realized why people never hit certain stages yet, because within those 10 years of experience, they didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing. They didn't do too much. This is why people be like, yo, you still trying to live like you're in your 20s. This is why people say these certain things. Or you ask somebody like, yo, for somebody to be in your 20s, you like wise in your 30s or 40s. These are the experiences, the things that they're going through, the things that they're learning, the people that are around. You're either building yourself up to move forward and to be able to teach people, or you're just growing with age and not really maturing with your age. So that's something you got to be very cautious of. The more I'm around people that I start hitting, you know, used to be around or around, things hit me in the head like, yo, you ain't really grew the fuck up. Like there's too much knowledge out here not to know what to do or how to not become better. Like one of my biggest things I always say is like, you can make improvements daily. And a person like, what do you mean by that? Listen, you can improve your smile. You get braces. You get your teeth can get whiter. You can do so much things to strengthen the marrow in your teeth. Like it's so much that you can do. You can make improvements to yourself. And I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I am one of those individuals that reaches for a high level of, how you say, expectations or what I can possibly become. One of the things you want to be able to do when it comes to growth within your life is to be able to reflect back and understand that now you have the experience to give another individual to where you hit a brick in the road or you hit something in the road. Now you can get that knowledge to that person like, listen, the brick came because of this experience here. I'm gonna teach you how to go around the brick, or you can throw the brick back at them. Like that's one of the most beautiful things about when you become very knowledgeable. Something hit me in the head the other day as I was talking to my mother. She was asking me like, how do you know about this business, etc. I was like, yes, ma'am. I was like, I can help you get your LLC. We can do legal Zoom, or you can file directly with the state. It's whatever you're going to be comfortable with. Also, are you looking to put anybody in this LLC? She's like, no, it's going to be me. I said, cool. So just to let you know, if you do this LLC by yourself, that's 100% beneficial. And if another person wants to do business with you, just let them make an LLC themselves, and y'all do a joint partnership. So anytime your company wants to disperse or go opposite ways, nothing has to be, disposition has to be on your side because they're not part of your LLC. You end the contract and then y'all go your separate ways. So I was just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I'm really be on my shit these days to be able to be informative to people. And that's one of the things you want to be able to do is know that you're able to guide somebody when you know the information, or guide somebody to somebody else who knows the information. That's how you know when you're living a life in a very purposeful way, in a helpful way, and I said something to reflect back on as you get older.
Okay. I like that analogy with the brick. You know, go around the brick, throw the brick at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, throw it back at him, man.
Throw the brick like Cardi B through that microphone, man.
Hey, man, Cardi B said, "Come block him."
All right. Quick one. Before I get to my next point, going back to the whole death phenomena. Like, you ever have conversations with people and you're like, hey, you know what you eating right now? You know that'll like kind of kill you, right? Yeah. And they're like, oh well, I gotta go one day eventually. Be careful of people's conversation, man. Like, that's somebody that's giving up their will to live. Once you stop fighting to live, you're giving up your will, right? And you're welcoming negative energy in your life, even if it's something simple as just what you're eating. So having shit to lose, sometimes people look at that as a weakness, right? You see it in the movies a lot of time. If a man go out and get a family, then they make him kind of soft in the movie because he got he got something to lose. He got a wife and kids, so now all of a sudden he's not as aggressive or he a little soft. Or some people feel as though if you have a family or things that you love, it takes away your focus from being able to function and make things happen, right? Um, it's a negative energy that we apply. Having something to lose, having people to live for, family, kids, husbands, wives, whatever, girlfriends, wives, husbands, boyfriends on the side, whatever. That's a flex. You know what I mean? You want to be that important within your life that you have value to other people. The people that can probably go out and commit the most heinous crimes and say, hey, I don't care about my freedom. I ain't scared to go to jail. Like that's some shit you know what I'm saying? Once you get out of that atmosphere and you grow up, you shouldn't still be like, oh, jail ain't nothing to me. You shouldn't be like, oh, I know I can die doing this, but hey, hey, fuck it. It is what it is. You want to live for yourself first and foremost, show that self-love, and you also want to live for the people that depend on you for something. Even if it's just your presence, just knowing you're alive, right? So we have to stop looking at family makes you weak, love makes you weak. These are the things that should make you stronger. So it's not a long point. Just remember that these are things that make you stronger. I ain't saying some people take it even that into a toxic level to where they like, look, everything I do for my kids. Everything I do for this person. You still do shit for yourself. Let's be honest. If you don't do nothing for yourself, you wouldn't be here to function and even be happy doing the things that you're doing if everything's for the next individual. So it's a balance between that, but having things to lose shouldn't make you weak. You got it.
All right, yeah. I made that comment early. Make sure you got something to lose for in this life, man. It's one of the things that keep you on a great path, right? I said like sometimes later on you don't find something to live for till later on. Like there's a comment right now. Some people don't change their life till they have kids. I can't tell you how many men and women are like, since I had this kid, man, I knew I had to change. I'm like, so you just gonna just keep doing what you're doing, right? Like, man, I had to. And, right then and there, I'm a father now, I'm a mother now. It put something in me. I was like, all right, cool. Hey, listen, I'm glad you have something to live for now, man, because ain't no telling what would have happened. But like I said, it could come from kids. It could come from finally having a purpose or experiencing something that, experiencing something in your life that that could have caused some type of trauma that now you want to be the advocate of. It's crazy like how the world can operate. But like I said, just to not have something to lose is very much dangerous. You know what I'm saying? It's people that still operate on the highest level in that same mind frame. Got millions of dollars, billions of dollars, hundreds of thousands. They still tell you, hey, listen, man, I still got to go provide. I still got to do this. I still got to watch my image. I still got to be careful what I put on social media. I still got, and I was just like, no, like this is what we talk about. It's the reflection point and understanding who you are as an individual, and as you take your steps in the world, everybody got them eyes on you, and that's why I always say, listen, face it or not, you're the example of what to do and what not to do. I'd rather somebody make sure, like, hey, Juice, somebody you should follow. That is Juice. He ain't shit. But like I said, it's the examples you set from your character, your actions, your growth periods. And one of the main things is how do you handle, what's the word I want to say? How do you handle certain situations involving conflict? That's one of the biggest keys to growth. If you're still resort to violence every time something pops off, you ain't grown yet. In fact, during our conversation, me and X was talking about, I said, bro, we were so prone to violence. The minute we got disrespected or something, we was just ready to fight right then and there. It didn't matter who was around. Nowadays, I make sure if I'm gonna go into an altercation, I'm observing what's going around first. I'm looking around, you know, I'm doing this and that. Yo, okay, it's kids right here, it's a mother. Yeah, I'm making sure like, yo, this ain't working. You know what I'm saying? I'm careful of my image now. Back then, this is just bottles against your head. Yeah, man, and shit just go down. And you know what I'm saying? Shirts coming off. It's like you and your dead homies we don't care about. Everything is just out the door. But like I said, that growth is everything. It pulls you back and realize, hey, listen, that doesn't matter anymore, especially where you going, where you know your trajectory, or what you plan on executing. Some shit just ain't worth it.
Facts. On that note, you never want to work hard to build up your image, putting all this work on personal development and all that years worth of work and progression, you throw it away within 5 minutes of making a bad decision. So, you know, that's something to keep in mind. It's real easy to screw up a lifetime of work. A lot of people within the public eye, they bear this burden. Ja Morant, you know, these types of incidents happen. And sometimes when people don't lose everything, sometimes that can influence people that don't have what these people have to be a little bit more reckless. Sorry, it's facts.
It is.
Right? So I'm not saying everybody should lose everything the minute they slip up and make mistakes, but you have to keep that in mind. Sometimes it's not always about me. Sometimes losing a part of your image, losing a title to your name. Sometimes, look, some people feel like, yo, I got this job, it pay the bills, but I'm on my bullshit. I don't give a fuck about it for whatever reason right now. I could get another job. Okay, that's true. But at the moment, you still want to show gratitude that you have a job. You still want to always show gratitude. When you become at a level to where you lose gratitude, these are just practices. Let's say you excel and you find a better job and you make more money. Mentally, where is your discipline if you gave up on gratitude with the last one? You know what I'm saying? It's like you appreciate what you have in order to attract more. It's not always about your work ethic. You always want to exhibit discipline, morals, and principles. So just having respect on all levels of your life makes you a respectable person. So if somebody giving you a paycheck, whether you like that job 100% or not, show gratitude and respect just by showing up and doing what you're supposed to do. Black people, you know how we are, niggas. We show up when we want to sometimes, especially when we get really good, the money coming in. You 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes late, 30 minutes late. They
Hey,
tell
man,
you to
stop
do
telling
something.
people my business, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
They tell you to
One
do
time, man.
something. You already know how you gonna navigate around that and not really do what they told you to do. Like, we know what we do. So you just always want to show good character even when nobody's looking. That's how you know you're gaining more things to actually live for. Because at the end of the day, you should know that you gave this 24 hours everything you had. So you don't want to take that type of mentality to where you lose gratitude. I got a question. You can answer. Anybody in the chat can answer. Is there something in life you value more than money? And if so, what is that one or two things? So, and that's
Man,
leading to.
that's easy, man. My resources. I always look at myself as being a connector. That's one thing I do enjoy the most is to be able to help others get what they want because I went out there and built it. Build it and build it. Put myself in these settings, these events, these organizations. Like just being an ultimate helpful, just being helpful to people. Shoot, that's thrilling to me. I love the ability that people can call me like, hey, do you know this? No, but I know somebody who does. Hey, do you know how to do this? Yeah, I know how to do this. Hey, do you know anybody who sells it? Yes. Hey, listen, call him on Tuesdays. He's free at 10 o'clock. Let him know Jonathan sent you. Like, I love that shit, bro. Like, I don't need money for that shit. To be able to help another soul is everything, bro.
Right.
It's when I say I want to, my goal as a man is to become as resourceful as possible. It's the ability to help anybody at any time of situation. It might be a situation like, listen, I got about to get foreclosure on my house, and this is what happened. Like, yo, who slapped that on there? What county are you part of? Hey, listen, let me talk to somebody and say, it'd be small shit like that. I always look ahead at the things I plan on executing as a man and what I can possibly do is just endless. But it comes from the fact that I love the game of building relationships. I love being in situations where I'm very uncomfortable, but seeing, do I really belong there? As a child, I always told myself there's no such thing as a place I can't go. Till I got older and understood, hey, there's rules. So now it's all about me reaching those standards and be able to still walk through those doors. So the fact that I'm able to walk through those doors more often, it's like, okay, I'm achieving things that I said as a kid that I wanted to be able to do. So that's something I very much value, is just becoming resourceful. Like I said, that's something in me that's very powerful. The ability to be able to help an individual, help navigate, pinpoint things out, get things removed out of their life, become helpful, let them become less stressful. Man, that's powerful to me, man. That's very powerful to me. Like there's some of the people. Listen, there's some people that are so resourceful, and they don't really have no say so. But if you call them, they know how to point you in the right direction at any given time. You know some old heads like that. I know some old heads like that. They ain't never hit $1 million because they got people on their phone. They got millions of dollars, and it's just off the connections they build.
Facts, facts. Resources, being resourceful. I would say impact, that leads to impact, right?
Yeah.
And experiences, right? Some people are so locked into making money, they forget to experience life. Sometimes you got to take a break from the money. It's I get it. Everything costs money, money, money. Everybody want to pass down generational wealth, or some people. Some people want it all to themselves. However that works out. You have to value experiences. Sometimes you just got to take a break from the money, because whether it's a family member, a person traveling, uh, being able to see a person that you watch on YouTube every day, they come into your city Friday, and you like, damn, but I gotta work, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like sometimes things only happen once in a lifetime. Sometimes you only get a limited amount of time with people, and sometimes being resourceful and connecting with resources you only get once you take advantage of opportunities. You never know who you can meet, so you always want to think about experiences. When you get to living your life and you only thinking about money, you clocking in, you clocking out, you drained, you tired, you overworked, and you're not experiencing life, how progressive are you really being? Just because your bank account is growing, what else is growing, right? Your mind has to expand. You know what I'm saying? You want to be happy within your existence. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the corny happiness. I'm talking about actual happiness, experiencing things that you actually have on your bucket list. A comedian did an interview from Houston. I can't remember his name. And he said his wife is a great singer. So she wanted to produce an album. He paid for her to be able to make this album. She scratched it off her bucket list. People was calling. They wanted her to perform. Yo, he's a comedian. She's singing. He's seeing dollar signs. She like, nah, I'm a wife and I'm a mother. That's what I value the most. I just wanted to get the album off my bucket list. You know what I'm saying? So all that touring and all that shit, that's not me. I know my lane. I know what makes me happy. Sometimes you just got to know what makes you happy. It's okay to be a family person, or you know what I'm saying, whether it's being hyperactive within your bloodline, family that you got at home. It's okay to do what makes you happy. If going to the gym makes you happy, taking road trips, whatever. Make time for the things that actually bring you happiness. Because you can, out of all the money I've ever lost in my life, whether I got it back as quick as I wanted to or not, I got it back. The things that I can't get back is experiences. Once time is lost, time is lost.
Right.
So once that's why they say a lot of times the wealthiest people in the world sometimes can be the most miserable. And the more money, the more problems. Money is not going to cover up problems, and money is not going to give you an exchange of experiences in life. So value your time. You know what I mean? So you got it.
Definitely, I would say value your time. Like I said, X knows I didn't work 7 days a week for like years at a time. He'd be like, "Yo, man, why don't you just take a break?" Like, man, I'm trying to get this money up, man. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to take a couple trips. Listen, I got to a point where when I see something in my vid tab or email, and it's about being around people in business, tech, logistics, outings. Yo, I call out now. I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, hey, all right, bro, I ain't gonna make it. Hey, I need you to make a short day. Hey, this is what's going on. I let them be known. Like, I don't care. Right? The thing is, like you said, you don't want to miss those experiences because some of them things you can't get back. Like, I look back at the times where I was working 7 days a week. I was like, damn, bro, I missed out on some stuff. But then again, sometimes when you look back, you actually, did you really miss out on things if things are still advancing within your life? Some experiences you wishes that you have, but at the same time, staying focused on a goal that you have in mind is beautiful when it comes to certain things as well. But like you said, y'all take time out, enjoy the small things. Like I said, I'm very simple. Like I said, I want the ultimate key. I want the luxury. I want the freedom. I enjoy small things. Let me get some ramen, Let me get some ice cream, you know what I'm saying? Let's go ride a bike. Let's go walk in the park, man. Right? Hey, listen, new movie came out, you know what I'm saying? I'm very simple to a point where even though I want everything on a luxurious path, I realize I'm very simple at the same time. So even if even when I achieve that outcome, I'm still gonna enjoy the most simplest things because I know what makes me happy. So another thing is I would also tell people is, like I said, enjoy the little things when it comes to this. Having something to live for is some small, tiny moments that always recharges you or makes you feel good, that makes you still want to go out there and do things the next day. You got to have a recharge moment. You got to find something that rejuvenates you, inspires you. One of the things that keeps impressing me over the time period is the type of conversations I've been having with my mother lately. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's really been in the books, calling me. Do you know about this and that? Hey, I've been studying this. Hey, you know anything about this cryptocurrency? I'm like, where did this come from? But at the same time, I'm happy she's finding something for herself. Some things about our parents, man, like if we feel like they don't catch on to the things that we're doing right now, they're not gonna never get it. But you slowly learn, like somebody's putting some type of information in their head that's making them want to be a better parent or a better person. Hey, it's just, I'm always talking about starting a business now. Like I said, I was like, yo, where'd that come from? From the longest point, it was like work this government job, retire out the government job. Now she's like, all right, I'm done with that. I still need to produce income. I need to still make sure something's coming in. And I'm like, yeah, where the fuck this come from? But like I said, sometimes things down the line catches up to people till they realize they got to move with a purpose. And now they get inspired off your actions alone or what they need to do for themselves or for you. Because like I said, I've been impressed with my mom lately with these conversations.
Okay, cool. Definitely got to give people their time, man, to tap into what they need to tap into on their own time. We can't really just judge everybody. Sometimes people grow up at their own pace, whether they're older than us, younger than us, what have you. Doubling back to my Jaylen Brown scenario, he said he wanted to bring back Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because when we actually talk about Black Wall Street, it was over like 200 towns or cities, right? 200 towns that was similar to Black Wall Street. One of which I think someone just passed away recently at a lake in Georgia, I believe, right? That was actually a place that was a Black successful town, and those people got murdered, flooded out, right? So it's sad to say that the Black people that passed away are haunting the area. We don't know. But fact of the matter is, a lot of times when we look at Black history, we think back to Egypt, we think about ancient Africa, and we think about science, mathematics, all these accomplishments that were thousands of years ago. But when we look at back at like the early 1900s, right after slavery, Black people was popping. We had, like I said, we had over 200 towns that were just like Black Wall Street, if not more successful. Even was that Central Park in New York? That was originally what Seneca Village or something like that. And those people just they passed laws to where they took their land from and created Central Park. So we having something to live for as Black people, Black men, Black women. When we study greatness of our true history, it should give you more of a purpose to accomplish great things and not just quote unquote be average. So that should always remind you when we talk about, yo, we kings and queens, it shouldn't always be from thousands of years old. You
There
were
you go.
kings and queens just within modern time. It was just stolen from you and taken away from you. D.L. Hughley did a Vlad interview, and he is actually a descendant of family that had prosperous land in Malibu, I believe a beach in Malibu that was stolen from him, right? So study your history, right? You have something to live for that's greater than yourself, belonging to the race that you come from. You're more than just a Democrat, a Republican, a Crip, or Blood, a person from a city, a state, a block, a neighborhood. You're more than just a person that even belongs to your personal family. You come from a race of greatness, people that we're not even like hundreds of years away from slavery, and we still invented and created everything that we're using today, from red lights, the concept of paramedics. All these inventions come from Black people. Some of them got their credit, a lot of them didn't. So always remember that you come from an innovative and creative group of people. So you have something to live for. Even me personally, I'm in the works of creating a book, and I had to change my thinking of, do I just want to create this book to produce income? That's great. But what's more important than that? Have an author attached to my name. So sometimes you want to look at the impact of what you're doing versus just the money that you're receiving. And sometimes it can give you more of a drive in what you're doing. But it's very critical for you to understand where you come from. If you come from greatness, you shouldn't achieve anything less than greatness. So know where you come from in order to have more things to live for. So you got it.
Man, perfect, man. One thing I'll also say is when it comes to the past can give you that inspiration and the motivation, but if it doesn't, you understanding that you are the direct lineage of what you'll create when it comes to your offspring should definitely give you somewhat of a purpose. Um, I don't think people understand when it comes to that family name. Like, let's say, people remove their family name. Yeah, people remove the name that was given to them, the slave master name, and they
Mm-hmm.
restart over. That should be even more of a purpose driven behind it because you're willing to restart over to build
Mm-hmm.
something different for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful alone. Most people are going to stick to their what's given to them. Some people don't want to erase their social security. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember that whole process is you eliminate everything you already create, especially within the social security basis. You make a new name, listen, everything you accumulated just thrown out. You start exactly from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be a Smith no more, and now you're a Bob Tula. Cool. All right. Now you got to build your lineage. I don't think anybody understands when you start from
Mm-hmm.
scratch, that's when you got to put in the most work. The most work. Because now there's nothing behind you. You're literally the first generation of what you're creating at that point in time. And face it, some of us are the first generation of the people we were birthed by, but making the most impact. It got to start somewhere. That's why people are like, listen, somebody had to be rich. Why not you? Somebody got to change the family name. Why not you? Somebody got to do this. Why not you? Always ask yourself in the mirror when you go to sleep and wake up. Why not you? Why you can't do it? Why you can't be the one? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's times where I have like I said, I have some ego moments, some pride moments where I was like, listen, I really don't care for having a generational wealth talk because I just want to know, are you going to go into action? But at the same time, sometimes those talks is needed for things to actually go into action. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm like, okay, you know what? I understand that at the end of the day. So, like I said, even I have to check myself when it comes to me. So at the end of the day, start with why and then ask yourself, why not you be the one? It's a lot of blood, sweat, tears, a lot of appreciative moments, but you got to keep the vision in mind. Like I can't tell y'all, like I rarely sleep. I literally hit the Excel not too long ago. I'm like, bro, I gotta go get my body checked out. I gotta figure out why I don't sleep not much, but yet I can be up all day and be productive. Just on the basis like I'm after so much. It's just like I said, trying to compress 24 hours in to get as much as you can done. So like I said, it's either you wake up earlier or you stay up later. Sometimes it's just how you operate until you can get to a place where you come back and then, be able to pull back and, enjoy sleep more often. Um, one guy I used had told me one time, he said, listen, uh, you'll pay now or pay later. So while you're youthful, you might want to put in as much work as you can to get out, to X out. Like I said, what they say, exit the rat race. However, some people are going to stay on the rat race forever. So figure out how fast you want to get out of the rat race and put as much energy behind it. If you want to do it in a compressed amount of time, be ready to work for that. If you're looking at your exit ticket at 40, 50, still be able to understand how much energy and time that's going to take. If you got to learn how to calculate, do that. But main thing is, pay now, pay later. You got to understand uh, your purpose in your life. Don't just be existing to exist. We always say middle class is what keeps this world, this economy alive. But at the end of the day, are you alive?
All right. Just with the cook up.
Put that in that book, man. Put that in the book, man. Put that in the book, man. Put juice under that.
Yeah, no, and on that note, you never want to wake up day to day and go to sleep knowing that you're contributing to somebody else's dream. Everybody got a dream. And even when we talk about work as hard as you can and work smarter, not harder necessarily, everybody has talent, right? It's just sometimes people don't believe within their talents because they think that that talent can't produce $1 million and it can't take them off the clock. Even if you have a 9 to 5 and you're still taking time out to contribute to your talent and your dreams, that still gives you more things to live for, right? Because what happens, I've seen people retire. Retirement, is decent. It may not be that $2 million or $1 million that you need to never have to work again. That's another conversation. But what tends to happen for a 20-year period, 20, 25-year, 30-year period, you trained yourself to wake up at this time, go to sleep at this time, eat, do everything you do throughout a 24-hour period to wake up the next day to go to work. Sometimes when people get off that clock and don't got to go to that job no more, they die. What's the science behind that? For all these years, you trained yourself to be a worker. That's all you know is work. So you slept on your talents. Everybody has a talent. Some people like to conflict talent with purpose. Sometimes your talents connect you to your purpose. Your purpose and your talents always aren't the same things. But needless to say, whatever your talent is, make sure you grow that talent. Make sure you spend time and energy producing time for yourself and contributing to your talents. Like you see us, we podcast. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how good you think we live, but podcasting ain't paying the bills. You know what I'm saying? But we still make time to contribute to the podcast. I could be frustrated, long day at work, thinking about life. Life is life. And while I'm steady learning new information and tapping into this and tapping into that, I can easily get discouraged and say, you know what, fuck this. Life ain't like, it ain't adding up the way I want it to. But you get in front of a camera and you're able to disseminate the information that you just came in contact with. That information becomes impactful to somebody else. Now you're tapping into your purpose and you're contributing to your talent. So everyone has a gift, whether it's speaking, whether it's playing. Even if you used to be athletic and you played sports and you was the coldest person on the team and you didn't go pro, you still can train a kid. You can start a company out of that. It may not produce 6 figures right now, but what's the longevity if you train a right kid at the right moment? They go state and they can say, oh, this person trained. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain neighborhood that I go to a lot, and I see this one guy. I'm pretty sure he don't work because every time I see him, his car's in the driveway. But his whole garage is a basketball goal. He got cones out. He got workout equipment in the garage. Cars is always lined up down the street, and I'm seeing him train people, training kids. And I'm like, yo, this dude he's using his talent to pay the bills. And even if it's not paying the bills, he still got something else to live for other than just his job title. When you ask people, hey, who are you? And they tell you what they do, that lets you know they're losing their identity. I don't care how successful they are. If I ask you, who are you? And you start telling me what you do, I know you don't know who you are. You're a human being, not a human doer, right? So who you are, that's personality. These are things that you have conversations about, not just, I work here, I made this from doing this, blah, 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 blah. So Always make time for your talents, even if they can't take you off the clock at the moment. You never know what can happen 5 years, 10 years from now, what have you. And that connects to people keeping hope alive. If you just say, screw your dreams, screw your aspirations, I'm just going to go to work and be an average working person no matter what. I'm not even going to fool around with investing. It's a waste of time. It's a gamble. I'm not going to contribute to my talents. It's a waste of time. You're going to lose your will to live. You're going to be a poison to society because you don't have anything to live for besides work. So that's my close off.
Right. Line just came into my head about Big Sean. He said he was like, fuck a vacation, I feel better at work.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah, some people who say that until they realize how much their body break down from doing it.
You get one body.
Yeah, you only get one body, bro. Once the organs start messing up.
Let's create some new shit and we can, you know.
Let's go be artificial, man. I don't know, man.
We can buy some sleep. What?
Hey, listen, we buy some sleep, boy. Hey, sleep would be the most biggest industry in the world, boy. And listen, give me that sleep, man. Just throw it on my eyes, man. Just do it right.
Plug me in the wall. Yeah, plug me in the wall. Boom, boom.
Let that be a walk the goddamn Sandman, bro. That'd be the new drug on the street, bro. I promise niggas gonna pay for that. And listen, man, I need 15 hours of sleep, man. How much, man? 200? Hey, it's right here, man. Just do it, man.
Hey,
boy, I'll pay for some sleep, bro. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
Surgery, sexual enhancements, and sleep would be the biggest things people can say.
Man, that's essence. Surgery, sex, sleep. Ooh.
We're talking money.
Hey, listen, you
know what? Listen,
take that out the video, man. I'm gonna make that into a business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Patent office every time.
Patent office, shit. You know, ain't copyright this shit. But let's get back on topic for a second, man. Listen, yeah, bottom line, y'all, search for something that's deep inside of you, man. Something that wakes you up besides paying the bills. I gotta say that. You gotta find something that wakes you up besides paying the bills, man. Mm-hmm. I watch people, I watched this lady, she went from making 6 figures to making bubble tea. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, I really love making bubble tea. I was like, so you left your 6-figure job to make some tea? She's like, yeah, I really love it. I feel like that's my purpose. You know, I come here, I make the tea. People come in smiling, or maybe depressed. I make it the right way where they wake up and they feel energized after it. I'm like, all right. You know, for you know, sometimes for my mind, some things don't click. But then I really have to understand it's like, yo, that's what they feel like their purpose was. I remember watching a court case before, and there was a guy from KFC. I'll never forget it. Never forget a day in my life. It was like 10 years ago. There's a guy from KFC that was on in the court, and they was like, hey, what's going on? I forgot they was talking about something that's going on with the restaurant, and he was like, well, listen, every day I wake up and go to KFC, and my job is to fulfill the customers' orders and start actually giving me fulfillment. You know, cooking the chicken, making sure the mashed potatoes with gravy and biscuits. Bro, I could have sworn right there, like in my lowest nature, I was like, this got to be the dumbest shit I ever heard. This man is telling y'all his purpose is to make fried chicken and serve it to y'all. But yet, the way he explained it to a point, the joy he gets out of it, I was just like, bro, I don't get it, but damn. He said he's proud to work the overtime, the restless nights. And I was like, yo, he's really dedicated himself to something. He said he wakes up with with no aches, no pains. He gets joy out of it. And that's another thing, that sometimes the things that give us joy and pleasure, it might not be the biggest thing in the world. That's why I gave you the bubble tea. So I gave you the guy from KFC. Sure, it's multiple people. People got dog grooming business. And I was just like, you know, everybody has a different purpose. So you don't have to fall in the category of doing something so significant if that's not you. And what you're doing brings enough joy, and yet it can pay the bills. Hey, just continue down the path. You never know who's willing to aid you. That's why one thing I like about Shark Tank is some people make those ideas and they work it so well to a point where people are willing to invest into you because they see how well driven you are into it. So they're willing to take that gamble and risk. So that's all I read there.
Man, I'll wrap up my last two things for sure, for sure. These are just a couple of things I experienced throughout life. I know this one old guy. Um, he retired from the post office, and every day I see him, he still wears his post office shirt.
Damn.
Yeah,
I'm a father.
old white guy, but that's his identity, and he goes to Waffle House every day. So that's the things that he lives for. He can't get over the fact that he dedicated that much time to the post office, and his joy and pleasure is going to Waffle House. He go to Waffle House, they know his name, they know his order. His life is in a routine. Remember, I told you, some people that only know work for over a period of time, they still stuck in that identity. They still stuck in within that time frame or structure. And they may have one or two things they do to keep them happy and keep them living. Waffle House keeps him alive. Rick Ross. Even when you get outside of talent, Rick Ross is a great rapper, great entrepreneur, right? But he said, look, I'm a fat nigga. I can think about a lot of ways to make money, but I like to eat. It only made sense for him to go into business with Wingstop. You know what I'm saying?
Wingstop and Texas, baby. Hey, don't get it right, baby. Get it right, baby.
So sometimes people, you got to look outside of talent and what pays the bills and what makes money. Even once you make the money, right? Let's make money off things that are actually who we are. He's like, why would I try to sell you health and fitness? That's not me. I like to eat, so I'm gonna go into business with that. So he's very successful at having Wingstop franchises. Very
Wingstop
successful.
franchise.
All right. So if you like to eat, you know what I'm saying, and not just like to cook, and you actually like to eat, possibly that can be something you can do with your money that you make in abundance. Then you have the person on a day-to-day lifestyle that live for the weekend. They do whatever they got to do for the week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday is club and brunch time.
Brunch time. Hey, listen, shout out to brunch time, man. I see how you
I love
single
brunch.
ladies. See all you single ladies. I be,
You know what I mean? So you have these people, right? They live for the weekend. That's their biggest joy in life. I'm not saying that's productive or not. I'm just saying some people, they live their life for the weekend. And then you have the successful people, the millionaires that shit on those people because they like, okay, look, if you're going to go out every weekend, what are you celebrating? Did you make some extra money throughout the week? Did you have an accomplishment? Or are you just spending money because you're trained to think that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday it's time for you to go out and party and spend money? So you have the weekend person. Some people live to play the lottery. You see it every day. As long as they can buy their cigarettes, buy their little liquor out the store, am I lying? Play their lottery ticket.
Like, give me number
Give me
7
that
right
scratch
there,
off.
dog.
They know the secret codes for the scratch off. So give me that pick 7-5 and give me that scratch off 372. And then I'm like, what the fuck is all that? That's another language, but that gives them that's that they live to play the lottery.
Bro,
You know what I mean?
that really just hit me. I don't think I ever bought a scratch off since I've been grown, bro. I remember I got handed to it when it came. I don't think I ever bought a scratch off.
Yeah. Some people live to play a lottery. Lemon pepper. You shouldn't say more about that. And then even on the lowest level, you know what I mean? Like you surface the internet right now. You listen to like Adam 22's podcast. Some people can't grow outside of the hood mentality they came from. So gang banging is their thing. Everything is Crip this, blood this, blah blah blah. They speak the language consistently. They can have a platform to speak to 1 million people, and they still can't leave that mentality alone. So whether they live or die, make $1 million or not, everything's about they set, they color, their neighborhood. You have that person, but that's their whole purpose of being and living. No matter how old they are, no matter how young they are, everything's about their neighborhood. So if you just observe people, you will find out what so many people choose to live for. Entertainment, representing something. Some people just live for so many various things, right? And going back to having ideas and being creative, some people, this is my last point, some people can produce an idea. let's say somebody offers you a lump sum of money for an idea of a business that you created.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be the person that will be the most successful from actually producing that idea into reality. You just may be a creative person that produces ideas and you're able to sell your ideas, still make the money from it. You don't have to see your business all the way through and make $1 million off of it just because you know the potential of it. Let's say you create an idea, you sell it for a couple of $1,000s, you do that 3, 4, 5 times, you may actually be able to produce another idea or another company that can actually hit big. You always want to be able to utilize your talents and gifts on all levels. So we sleep on the fact that some people just make their whole living off investing into companies. They never produced a company. Mark Zuckerberg never produced an idea. Anybody can argue and debate that. He's always found a way to invest in other people's ideas and just do it. Right. You study history, a lot of people never created anything. They just put up the funds to buy somebody out or just take their shit. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're just a creative person, it does not mean that you're supposed to see your idea all the way through. Sometimes you're just a creative person, and that can be your way that you bring in extra income. Is just being a creative person within the branch. All right. So that's my close off, man.
Yeah, just to add to that, anybody who understands what he just said, yes, you can sell your ideas. People are willing to buy your ideas.
Mm-hmm. And you probably can get a percentage on the back end.
Yes, that is 100% true. I got one of my cousins that told me about some things he was coming up with. He's like, bro, why don't you just sell your ideas? I was like, you can sell them? Like, yes. Like I said, when you don't know certain things, you just don't know.
Right.
So I always put that in mind, like, yo, you can sell your ideas, get paid, ask for a percentage, or outright. Listen, it's damn near nothing you can't sell. And people are not willing to buy the best. I don't think y'all remember when Kanye had, there was a bag of air from Kanye's concert that went up to $100,000. Yeah.
All right.
It was literally a Ziploc bag that was getting it went for $100,000, but then they canceled. Yeah, like I said, anything you get sold these days. Right? Come on, dudes is buying dirty panties, man. What?
All right. I'm good.
I'm good, man. You guys sign off. You ready to sign off?
All right, cool. We appreciate your time. Thank you for tapping in. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Talking That Talk Official Podcast. Top, we got No Ordinary Brother, aka Juice. He got 2 names. I go by the name of King Exodus. Thank you. All right, we signing off, man. We coming back in about 2 days with another episode for you. So we out.
All right, y'all. Peace.